Hey everybody, it's Comic Crack. A little video for Reader1717's little contest there. It was about other things that you collect, and I mean, you know, before I get started in the collecting side of it, if you don't know Reader1717, Cammy, a fellow knucklehead, as Costin Bromstar would say, you're missing out. She's got some great videos. Really enjoy hearing what she has to say about new comics. I mean, you know, I love hearing what everybody has to say about new comics, but I find I especially I like to hear what women have to say about comics too. I mean, because it's just nice to get that other perspective. Not that, you know, everybody's opinions aren't valid and anything, but I do like getting a completely different perspective like that. It's just refreshing. There's always a different take, and especially nowadays with so many more female creators and artists and writers and things like that, it's also nice to see that represented in kind of the review and comic community here on YouTube. So yeah, if you don't know her, I'm gonna put a link in the description box, and definitely check her out. So I've always collected stuff, and throughout my life, and I wouldn't say it ever really got completely out of control, but there was always times where it got a little questionable, and had to reel myself in and things. And I feel like I'm at a good spot now, like the past, you know, even like the past 10, 12 years, I feel like I'm at a good spot for collecting what I love doing the most. And I do it with comics, and I do it with CDs, and I do it with movies. I love the kind of turnover, you know, I love going and trading stuff in. And I'm gonna be looking at like my movie collection and things, and I actually just traded some stuff in yesterday, so there's a few new things that have come in I haven't watched yet. I find that my collecting, I don't know, I just really am okay now with getting rid of things and letting things go. So I mean, as much as I call it a comic collection and a movie collection, to me sometimes that word, that collection word, can have these other connotations with people, and even myself, you know. And the connotation with myself is that you collect and that's just it, and your house is filled with stuff and there's no room to move around, which obviously that happens, and I'm not by any means saying anything negative about people who do collect to that degree. It's just that I myself can't do that. I find it really cathartic, you know, I love the hunt of stuff, so I love hunting down movies, or I love hunting down books, but I also really love the culling of a collection. I love just sitting through and like organizing, and it's like, okay, well, is this really important? Yes, it's important because it kind of goes with this series, or these movies by this director are really important to me. But then the excitement of having a stack of stuff that's like, oh, right on, I can go and trade stuff in, because it's something I like to do with sometimes on my spare time. You know, yesterday I had Lillian, and I had some movies to trade in. So what better way to spend a bit of time with her? We went for a walk. We ended up going down to the mall where the movie places that I trade movies. We went to the bookstore. We went and had some lunch. Just I got to spend some time together, but it's a lot of fun to just go after like a month or 2 months to the video store, go after a little bit to the comic shop, and just dig through the racks and dig through the movies and see what's come in. And it's especially a joyous occasion when you come across that gem of like, oh man, I've been looking for this movie forever, or this comic forever, and you know, that's kind of what collecting means to me, I guess, a little more. But that said, so I'll show you kind of this first part, and then we'll just go into the living room where I have the rest of the DVDs and stuff, DVDs and Blu-rays. I'm not going to say too much about everything. Just kind of give you a kind of view, and it's always nice sharing this kind of stuff, and I think that's why a lot of us enter these contests and things. It's not necessarily for me about like winning any sort of prize or anything, or it's more about just celebrating with people somebody's achievement on their channel, and then just part of why we all love the community. I mean, it's part of sharing. I mean, what collector doesn't like showing off their stuff and talking about some great things that they found, or a story that they really, really like that they want to turn other people onto, or in this case, like a movie that you really like that you want to talk about with people. And it's one of the things I love about watching Scott's videos on Criterion and stuff, and pretty excited to see his channel kind of expand to include some more movies. I mention him because I'm a huge Criterion fan as well too, so it's great to kind of enter that world with somebody and see what they like about movies and all this, and you know, just have, again, it's all about those different opinions for me. I love hearing people's perspectives on things due to their life experience. Movie's gonna mean something completely different to them than it might to you. So all right, so here we go. So this is what I got yesterday. I'll just show you this quick stack. So I ended up getting like $20 worth of trade, or $18 worth of trade. And they had some movies now there that they were all DVDs this time, but they ranged from like $2.99 to, I think the most expensive was $5.99. And when you buy 4, you get the 5th one for free. So I think I ended up out of pocket for $6 or something for these 5 movies, which was a pretty good deal. So Moonrise Kingdom, because I'm on a bit of a Wes Anderson kick lately, and I'd love to get everything of his on Blu-ray, but in the meantime, I think this one was $4.99. I haven't seen it yet, so I'm looking forward to that. A couple of old Django films that I haven't seen. I've seen, I don't know, 4 or 5 Django films, like the originals, not the remake thing, with like Franco Nero and guys like that, and the other guy whose name I'm blanking on right now. Run Django Run, If You Don't Live Shoot, which is a Ray Milland. No, not Ray. That's Man with X-ray eyes. Totally blanked on his name. Anyway, that's the title of the film that he's in, and he does a fantastic job as Django. So this is A Man Called Django, and Django and Sartana's Showdown in the West. So that'll be kind of cool. Like I said, I haven't seen either of these, so a little double feature. One we saw a trailer for recently, and I had always written it off. I'd always heard that there was a few Coen Brothers movies that I remember at the time seeing the trailers not being too impressed with, like I'm not really going to enjoy that. I recently saw this trailer again, and it actually looked a hell of a lot of fun. So again, you know, for $2.99, Intolerable Cruelty with Clooney and Catherine Zeta-Jones. Dr. Horrible's sing-along blog, Joss Whedon film. Special Sexy Lady Friend is a fan of Nathan Fillion, as am I, but she really likes Castle, and that kind of what got her into watching Firefly, which she ended up loving. And so we'd heard that this one was good. I haven't seen it before either, so we'll try that out. And then again, another, it's almost like a Costin Bromstar shout out video. I don't mean it to be that, just kind of happened. He had talked about Ray Harryhausen and his kind of showing his movies, and then they had this for $2.99, so I thought it would be fun to pick up because I'd love to show it to my son. And again, seeing his videos about that stuff, it made me think of, I really need to own more Harryhausen stuff. And the good thing about this one, maybe you can make that out, special feature, a conversation with Ray Harryhausen. So that'll be very, very cool. But you know, it'll be interesting seeing it with the boy. I think he'll get something out of it, and I'm kind of curious to see it again because I haven't seen it since I was a kid, you know, so that's going to be great. So that's what we got there. And then I have this big kind of soft shell thing. It's mostly CDs and music in here, and some music from bands that I've been in and that sort of thing. I had speaking of collections and addictions, when I first discovered like SoulSeek and these music downloading programs, I kind of went off the deep end as far as I downloaded a ton of music, and I ended up amassing this huge CDR collection, as well as like just a CD and record collection and things. None of that went by the wayside, but so So in order to kind of, you know, I ended up years and years and years later, actually it was just a few years ago that I got this. It was more, okay, I've got to get rid of a bunch of stuff. So I ended up giving away a lot of CDRs, and what obviously went first were CDRs of albums that I had since bought on actual CD or vinyl, and then ones that I never listened to. And I wanted to kind of have a case where my collection could just be in one case. And this isn't the entire collection, obviously there's still tons more in boxes downstairs, but at least this was a start on I need to downsize and make this make it so it's easy to put away and not taking up too much room. So in this one is some my brother's in China, which I believe I've said numerous times before. So when he would come back, he would always bring some Chinese knockoffs, Chinese rip-offs basically of some movies, and a few of them ended up in my collection. So like 300 in Dogville there, for example. Death Laid an Egg in Italian Giallo, and this Bunky Blum Talking Train is a friend of mine who did a short film. I did some music for it. Not much in that one, more music in one of his previous movies. Just to talk about these kind of ones here. One of the things that, let's see if the Canadians can spot anything in this picture. One of the things that I used to love doing was trading, and ones like this Killdozer, From Hell It Came, even The Handyman. There were some guys online who were running these small DVD companies, and it was not necessarily dealing in pirated stuff, but it was dealing in like stuff that was televised. Like this was a TV movie back in the day that he found a copy of and then printed up a cover, a label for, and would mostly trade, but he would also sell. But it was mostly through trading that I got a lot of these movies, and that's an aspect of collecting and all these things that I've always enjoyed, and especially with movies and TV shows and some music, but a lot of like movies and live shows, because there was a whole period of time there where I was doing a lot of trades for live performances of bands that I loved, you know, from all over the world. So a lot of these and Ruckus and Monster Dudes, they came from him. And then here's some more Chinese knockoffs. The Mist, Razorback, and then stuff like this also came through trades as well too, so people burning copies. This is before, you know, I was torrenting and things like that, and that whole world. I was, like I said, there's something about talking to people online, getting to know people through like these small websites of traders and stuff, where you could really just find some unique stuff that you just couldn't find anywhere else. Yeah, some more there. More movies here. Some more movies here. Mental Vagrancy. There was a couple of websites that what they did was put together kind of video compilations of funny interviews, strange TV appearances, trailers for failed TV shows, just anything odd and unusual from the years of television. Then they would do kind of like a mixtape, but like a mixed video, and Mixed Vagrancy is one of those. I think I've got some more too from other places. Day of the Beast, if you don't know that movie, look up that movie and check that one out. That is one hell of an enjoyable film. Here's another one. So Pirate TV would have been another one, and same kind of thing, like a mixtape. A lot of fun, and some of those places, they would give them to you for free if you did a trade at the time. You know, they'd throw in their little compilation and things. Some more movies there. Japanorama, really good series. Japanorama, Kid Impossible, Massacre Time. Yeah, Hypnotic Eye. That's another group of guys that did video compilations. This one, there's a little note. Yeah, there's a Tiny Tim on this one, and a William Shatner that I always enjoyed. A couple more things there, and then we just get into the TV shows. Speaking of Robin Williams dying, before he died, Rick Mayall from Bottom and Young Ones passed away. And he was one of my favorites, and this is kind of what I have of the show he did with Adrian Edmondson, Bottom, which I always got a kick out of its childish humor. And then just some of the live music that I have on DVD-R. Bands like Caius, Jesus Lizard, Black Mountain, Melvins, who I'm a big fan of, Mule, Monster Magnet, etc. A great series, Erotica, that talks about European cinema. Highly recommended. I don't think it's too easy to find. It was a UK TV show as well, a short-lived, I guess it had 12 episodes. So Gene Roland, Jess Franco, Italian horror films, Jose Larraz, French blue movies, Jose Benazaraf, etc., Mad Scientists, Spanish movies, Michael Reeves. Really cool show. Very cool. Like I said, highly recommended for guys like, I think Big Shot would really get a kick out of this if he doesn't know it already. I think you'd love that. Then some anime, Kenshin, etc. Then some more music stuff, and then we just get into actual CDs and things. So that's pretty much it for that. Like I said, the rest of that big sucker is filled with music. So let's go over to the living room. Start down here, because this is like a lot of my TV series and stuff. So I'm a huge Jerry Seinfeld and I'm a huge Larry David fan, and I really loved Seinfeld. So once the box sets started coming on sale more and more over the years, like I got a lot of these box sets for next to nothing. I just decided to get the whole collection, even though it's still televised, because I wanted to hear all the commentaries and see all the bonus features and stuff like that. Season 1 of Arrested Development. There's some Wobulous World of Dr. Seuss from when my son was little, which I held on to for Miss Lillian. Curb Your Enthusiasm, all the seasons there. Love that show. King of the Hill. It's one of those I'm debating whether I want to buy them all. I loved King of the Hill, and I watched it when it was on TV. But I just don't know if I want to just... I don't know if I want to just get series and series and series and just have this filled up. Like I said, I'm trying to stick at a certain amount of movies that stay in my collection. So I don't want to keep filling up these drawers. Treme, really awesome. Larry Sanders, absolutely love that show. Special edition of The Office, the whole UK one. Something else that came from China, Tom and Jerry collection. I think it's like 10, yeah, there it says right there, 10 DVD sets of tons of old Tom and Jerry cartoons. Back there, if you can see, Pee-wee's Playhouse box sets, same thing, that was for my son. There was a time when he thought that Pee-wee was the funniest man he's ever seen in his life. So he loved that show, and I really enjoyed seeing them again too, because there was I can't remember the cartoonist's name right now. I'm sure there's a few of you yelling at your TV screens or your computer screens who was involved with like the set design of the show and things. So it's kind of neat to see that in my older age, now that I know I claim to know who he is, but I can't remember his name. And then here, Jurassic Park, a little bit of Heaven, some Hitchcock movies, extras, love that show. Samurai Jack, all the seasons of Samurai Jack, absolutely, it's one of my all-time favorite cartoons. If you don't know Samurai Jack, it's incredible. It's really incredible. A show I used to get a real big kick out of. I haven't watched it in a long time, but Harvey Birdman, Attorney at Law, was just something special. And then, of course, the Ren and Stimpy. These ones are really good, especially the first and second seasons uncut. I think it's even into season 5 and more 4, where John Kay does commentaries, and the later it gets, the more angry and bitter he gets, and the more critical he gets of like, look at the design, who drew this cartoon, and what the hell is going on, and blah blah blah. They're not supposed to look like that. It's really entertaining stuff, because I think Spiro feels the same way. I really feel that John Kay is quite a... I don't know, man, he's really got himself a place in the history of animation. He's a really unique talent. I love that guy. And then at the top here we've got the Godzilla box set that came out, I don't know how long ago, but the official set. And they've done they did a really great job. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 different movies. A lot of them have the American and Japanese releases on it. Some really incredible special features. A lot of fun. Blue Underground is a company that I love. The Blind Dead box set, so it comes in a little coffin, and then it's got 4 movies. Spectacularly thick booklet, and then a extra disc where it's a documentary on the director Armando de Osorio, and it's entertaining stuff. It's really good. That, you know, that European horror kind of feel to it. Really cool stuff. I've had that for quite a while. I think it's out of print now. At one of the animation festivals that was in town, they played some films of this guy. Oh boy, Kichi Tanami. Sorry, I'm probably butchering that name. Some amazingly psychedelic and crazy animation that they showed at the festival, and they had this. So there's the DVD there, and then it's a book of his art and interviews and things. Here we go. Some look at some of the individual pieces and some sketches and drawings, and I think there's some interviews with them and stuff too. Really cool. Kind of a lot of his stuff was that morphing animation, as you can tell by this, where images just keep moving and changing into different things, and he had a really good sense of color and some experimental type soundtracks as well. So I couldn't resist picking that up. I think as soon as it was over, there was me and one other guy that ran out to see about buying the book, and I think we got the only 2 that they had available. So that was a pretty nice little set. So here's my small Criterion set. I don't have nearly as much as Scott does, but so these ones, they're just in like numerical order. So there's a look at that. I won't go too much into them. You've seen most of them in my Criterion videos anyway. There's still a bunch I haven't talked about. I haven't done one of those videos for a while. And then you get into the box sets and the DVDs. Beasts of the Southern Wild, fantastic movie. Contraband, forget about it. If you like noir movies and like crime stuff, fuck me, this is a good movie. And it's incredible to me. I love the actor Ben Foster, and Ben Foster is in here. Everybody is incredible in this movie, but Ben Foster's character steals it. Just in that character's arc, the way he's written for this movie, absolutely incredible. Another highly recommended. One of my all-time favorites as well, too, Crank and Crank 2. I think those are some of the most original movies made in a long time. Just because of how crazy, and like they're basically live action cartoons. And then the process of filmmaking, coming from a filmmaking standpoint, the things that they did to make this movie are incredible. Really utilizing a lot of the technology that we have today, like as far as dirt cheap cameras and rigs for the cameras that they buy at hardware stores, and guys on rollerblades holding onto the back of motorcycles to get shots. Homemade kind of matrix rigs, you know, when they take the still and kind of jump around the picture because there's a lot of cameras mounted on something. The use of editing. I was lucky enough, Bai Ling is in one of these movies. Bai Ling came to town once and I worked on a movie with her, which was pretty great. I had a photo that I would love to insert right here, right now, but I cannot find it. It's forever lost, and it was her. She was playing a prison guard. So she was nice enough to take a picture with me where she was in her full-on prison uniform and kind of looking like she was roughing me up and shit. She was an incredible woman. She was crazy as all hell, but pretty enjoyable. Drive, Ed Wood, Firefly and Serenity, Hard Boiled, Heavy Metal, of course. another one. This is the problem with going through the movies. There's so many that are, if you haven't seen that, I don't even want to tell you about it other than just see it. Fucking amazing. Absolutely amazing. Another Jason Statham. I've got a bit of a man crush on Jason Statham. I love his movies. He's a pretty great action hero actor, I think. Some Jess Franco. Big Lebowski, of course. Conjuring, a really, really good, scary horror movie. The Descent, incredible UK horror movie. What do we got here? Watchmen, 310 to Yuma. These are all... not sure what happened right there. The camera decided to shut off, so let's try this again. Synapse is a company, a DVD company, and they did this series of trailer collections. So it's 42nd Street Forever, and it's all old 70s exploitation and cult movies. And then they did one that was this one here, X-rated, so it's all porno trailers. Afterlife, amazing. All Monsters Attack, another trailer collection of giant monster movies. American Werewolf in London, Audition, Mario Bava box set that I got for free. Scotiabank has this promotion, a scene card, and you gain points. And I decided, after I had a certain amount of points, I decided to have a look to see what they had offer, because you can get things like going to see a free movie, but I thought I'd see what kind of movies they had on offer. And they had 2 box sets of his, actually, from Anchor Bay, which I'd never seen before. So I got it for free just from using points, and it was my kind of discovery of Mario Bava too. Like, I knew about him obviously, and I'd seen 1 or 2 films of his, but I wasn't really versed in his movies. So when I got this box set, it gave me a chance to dive right in, and I love it. And I've since then I've never been able to get the second one. I think they sold out of it on the Scene site. And I've never seen it anywhere. I've never really dug for it. I really should, because I'd love to see some more. Mondo Macabro. I think I might have published the video that I did about that company, so there's some that you saw there. Cafe Flesh, Cannibal Holocaust, one of the all-time greats when it comes to sketchy Italian cannibal movies. Carnival of Souls. Comic Book Independence, the creative power of graphic novels. So a little documentary about comic book creators. Contact, here's another Bava. Danger Diabolic, which is an amazing movie as well, with a fantastic Mario Bava, a fantastic Ennio Morricone soundtrack. More Blue Underground, Daughter of Darkness, Mondo Macabro, it's more Jess Franco. A couple of John Waters and Divine documentaries. Something Weird Video is a company I haven't done a little video on, but this is a collection of trailers from them. Female Convict Scorpion movies. Female Yakuza Tales from the Pinky Violence collection. Fernando Di Leo Italian Crime collection. Exit through the gift shop. More previews. This is of spaghetti westerns. Forbidden Planet, Forbidden Zone, incredible movie. 40 Deuce, starring a young Kevin Bacon. Four Lions, Glengarry Glen Ross, Happiness at Katakuri's. Heist, Helvetica, such an incredible documentary. Horrors of Malformed Men. Horrors of Spider Island, Ichi the Killer, Ilsa box set. What can you say about Ilsa? She-Wolf of the SS, Harem Keeper of the Oil Sheiks, and The Wicked Warden, which was a Jess Franco, whoops, let's frame it up there, which was a Jess Franco version. It was called something else, and then they just kind of shoehorned it into the Ilsa collection. Yeah, I mean, you know, it's a classic. She-Wolf of the SS is an absolute classic, and there's some great commentaries on these two with Diane Thorne. Really, really great stuff. Infamy and Inside Outside are two graffiti documentaries. Seijun Suzuki stuff. Kiyoma from Blue Underground. Lady Vengeance. Let Me Die, a Woman from Synapse. One of my favorite directors ever, Doris Wishman. With a for its time, especially for its time. Unheard of, as they say on the back, jaw-dropping documentary, a stunning sexpose on the medical condition known as gender dysphoria. This docu-style sleaze fest includes unabridged interviews with post-ops bull dykes and drag queens, probing anatomical examinations and real medical stock footage from an actual sex change operation. So it's people who, you know, are in the process of transitioning from male to female, and even a couple transitioning from female to male. It's an incredible movie, and like I say, for its time, just groundbreaking, you know. Let the right one in. Lizard in a woman's skin. Scott, see, damn good movie. Machine Gun McCain. Mark of the Devil. There's Metallo, another spaghetti western. Matango, Attack of the Mushroom People. That's a fun movie. War on Milan, so Milano Ravante. Mondo Macabro. Napoleon Dynamite. Narc. One of my favorite comedians, Neil Hamburger. He's been to town. I've seen him quite a few times. Got a chance to sit and drink with him a couple of times too, which was pretty fun. No Blade of Grass, Nosferatu, more Mondo Macabro, Phase 4, Phone Booth, Planet of the Vampires, some more John Waters, Previews to Kill, so another set of spaghetti western previews and trailers. Ravenous, I remember seeing this in the theater with, I think it was a week after it came out, and there was probably about 5 of us in the theater. It completely went under the radar, and it's an incredible movie with an incredible soundtrack. Reservoir Dogs, here we go, something comic oriented. So Jim Woodring, Visions of Frank, short films by Japan's most audacious animators, all based on his character of Frank. Mondo movies from Blue Underground. Sartana, there's a Sartana spaghetti western. Schlock, The Secret History of American Movies, which I think I've talked about before. A little double feature, Serpico, Sex and Fury, Signs, My Battery Light is Flashing, Snatch, Sonny Chiba, Star Trek The Animated Series. Mine's a little yellowed, my copy, but I've had it for a long time, and it is a great one. Starship Troopers, Street Mobster, another favorite cartoon of mine, Super Jail, ultra violent and twisted and incredible, really incredible. More Seijun Suzuki, more animation, The Baby, The Big Racket, The Conversation, a long-time favorite of mine for both Gene Hackman and Francis Ford Coppola. I watched it multiple times. It had a huge effect on my movie viewing life. The Day the Earth Caught Fire, Devil's Reign, Endurance, Exorcist, Fabulous World of Jules Verne, a really unique movie from a place that doesn't exist anymore, sadly. Shocking Videos. He had a great site online, and he had a lot of incredible, hard to find movies. And it's been gone now for years, and it makes me sad. Every once in a while I check the website just to see if he's back, and he's just not. A box set of Jodorowsky, Fando and Lists, El Topo, Holy Mountain, and then I think there's the soundtrack included as well. Yeah, El Topo soundtrack, Holy Mountain soundtrack, and then a short film, La Cravate, and lots of extras as well. He's an interesting character. I love his movies, especially Holy Mountain. I'm a huge fan of Holy Mountain. The Host, The Intruder with William Shatner, Long Goodbye, I think I've talked about before. Mechanic, The Mask, Man from Planet X, love that movie. The Most Terrible Time in My Life. If you are a Seijun Suzuki fan, try to hunt this one down, The Most Terrible Time in My Life. Joe Shishido makes an appearance in it, and it really is an homage to Suzuki and that era of Japanese films. This one I think was 1993 is when this one came out, and it's a lot of fun. It has a lot of those elements of those old movies in it, and then, like I said, Joe Shishido plays a part in it, I believe as himself. The Outfit, great stuff. Another crime movie, Italian crime movie. The long out of print Pinky Violence collection, which has a bunch of bad girl movies, 4 of them I think, and then also a couple of stickers and also a CD of one of the actresses singing, and a nice thick booklet and tons of interviews and tons of commentaries, and really, really, really good, from a place called Panic House that I don't think exists anymore. I'm not sure. Quatermass, The Thing, There Will Be Blood, Virgins from Hell, X the Man with X-Ray Eyes, another favorite, Ray Milan, Yakuza Graveyard, another Kinji Fukasaku. Down here some animation, some DC stuff. I'll just kind of fire through the rest of these. So there's a look at that one. And then we get into Special Sexy Lady Friends DVD collection here. I won't go through all of these, because I feel like this has been a really long video anyway. So if you want to pause, if you're interested in getting a closer look, just pause on any of those. Some more down there, more down there. And then we get into Jaden's section of stuff that's kind of more geared towards him. So down on his level where he can get at them easier. All the Batman animated, Batman Brave and the Bold. Some more stuff there. Old X-Men, Up, the old Tintin show, the new Tintin movie, SpongeBob, Spirited Away, Spy Kids, Pokemon, Ben 10, etc. And then finally, just move over here quickly. Some music related stuff. Yeah Yeahs, Ritualistic School of Errors, Definitive Jux, Def Jux was a record label I enjoyed, Aesop Rock, and guys, LP, so it's a little documentary on them. One of my all-time favorites, Jesus Lizard. Some weird noise stuff, Tarantism. Super silent, really, really amazing live performance. Sumatran folk cinema. Sublime Frequencies is a record label, and they do movies, and I have a few of theirs, and that's one of them. Documentary on like stoner rock, Such Hawks, Such Hounds. If you like Sleep, Caius, Ohm, High on Fire, Dead Meadow, any of those bands mean anything to you, Wino, the guy right there, Wino, if any of those names mean anything to you, check out that documentary. It's really, really cool. A band that's coming to town actually really soon, in October I think, which I'm pretty excited for, Secret Chiefs 3. An amazing documentary on turntablism and DJs and rise of hip-hop called Scratch that's well worth checking out. Send and Receive is a festival we have here in town, experimental music, so it's a little documentary on that. Enough said about that. Scopatones, a little collection of that. Rubber Cement, which is a noise guy that I really like, so this is a compilation of some of his live performances, something that a Special Sexy Lady Friend and I enjoy. We love the Snoop Lion album, so I bought the documentary too, which is very enjoyable. And then here's a little Harryhausen for you. Ray Harryhausen's 3D animation magic. So it's short films, fairy tales, that these people who are in like Rubber Cement and some of these San Francisco costume noise bands, what they do is they sometimes play short movies and somebody does a live soundtrack to it. So they compiled this, and you can listen to it with the original soundtrack or the new soundtrack. Guys like Tarantism, Loach Fillet, Head Boggle Domo, Krob, the Brand Pause, and one of my favorites, Hans Grussel's Cranking Cabinet. I love them. So there's a little something you might not have seen before when Harryhausen was doing these short animations for children's books. Phil Niblock and a minimalist kind of drone guy. Another from Sublime Frequencies. Ennio Morricone conducts Ennio Morricone, such a great DVD. Moog, a documentary, a little bit of Melvin's action, band called Lightning Bolt, Kada and Mike Patton, Jimmy Smith, live in 1969. That's a mind-blowing little document or live performance. G.G. Allen, Hated in the Nation. Oops, Harvey Milk goes down to the ground. And The Act of Killing, some more Mario Bava, Gene Roland, Herzog, a couple of the Bollywood movies that I ordered, Daredevil, more Bollywood, Genghis Blues, Dub Echoes, Charlene Palestine, Butthole Surfers, Brutal Sound Effects, Amy Winehouse, more Bollywood, Zero Woman, Youth in Revolt, Uzumaki, another great horror movie, Unbreakable, Titus, The Village, Usual Suspects, etc., etc., etc. Some Blu-rays. As you can see, I don't have a huge Blu-ray collection. That's pretty much it, those, and then the Criterions that I have at the beginning of this whole thing. Copland, another favorite of mine. More Mario Bava. And then down here, some Cowboy Bebop. Big fan of that series, and Berserk. So there's most, but not all of the series. Twin Peaks. Some more Coen Brothers stuff there. And then there's a chunk of something weird. I don't have tons of it, but a lot of these are like double and triple features. So it's actually quite a few movies. Spaghetti Westerns box set. The Incredibly Strange Film Show that Jonathan Ross did back in the day. Really, really good stuff. A Twilight Zone. And then Brass Eye to end it off there. So that's pretty much the collection. Like I said, I've got lots of DVD-Rs and video CDs and collections of other kind of movies like that, but I don't want to bore you with going through all of those. Thanks very much for watching. It's probably like a 45-minute video at this point, so if you made it through to the end, that's great. Hope it didn't bore you too much. I'm going back to watching the World Cup's 50th greatest moments that I torrented the other day, and has been very, very entertaining so far. Right on. Take it easy.